You walk into a bank, same building, same counters, same people behind the glass. Nothing looks different, but somehow everything feels different. You stand there for a second, waiting, hoping someone notices you, but they don't. No eye contact, no urgency, no sense that you matter. It's subtle, but you feel it. Like you're just another number in a long line of numbers, replaceable, forgettable, invisible. So you wait your turn. You speak politely, explain your situation. Try to sound responsible, reliable, safe, and still. The energy doesn't change. They listen, but not really. They respond, but without effort, like you're asking for something they're not excited to give. Now imagine this: same bank, same building, same exact people. But this time, before you even say a word, they look up, they smile, they greet you like they've been expecting you. Someone walks over, not because they have to, but because they want to. Can I help you with something? The tone is different, the posture is different, the respect is different. You sit down, and suddenly it's not a transaction anymore. It's a conversation. They offer you coffee, they use your name, they listen, carefully. Not because you changed, not because you became smarter or more deserving, but because of one silent detail: your account, 6 figures sitting quietly in the system. And just like that, you're no longer invisible, you're valuable. So what changed? Not the bank, not the people, not the rules, just one thing: your money. And once you notice that shift, you start to realize it was never about you, it was always about what you had. Because banks don't treat everyone equally, they can't. And more importantly, they're not designed to. There's a system beneath the surface most people never notice: quiet, calculated, unfair, but predictable. A hierarchy where your value isn't measured by effort or intention, but by what you control, what you hold, what you bring into their world. And once you see it, really see it, something shifts. You stop chasing approval, stop trying to prove you're worthy, and instead, you start thinking differently, moving differently. Because the moment you understand the game, you stop asking for access and start positioning yourself to be wanted. Let me tell you about Daniel. Daniel did everything right. Good job, stable income, paid his bills on time. No reckless spending, no bad decisions hanging over his head. The kind of person the system claims to reward. One afternoon he walks into his local branch. Nothing dramatic, no emergency, just a small gap he needs to cover, a simple loan, something manageable, something reasonable. He sits across from the banker, calm, prepared. He explains everything clearly, shows his income, his payment history, his discipline. You can tell he believes this should be easy. The banker listens, nods politely, types for a few seconds, clicks through a few screens, then stops, looks up, and delivers that perfectly neutral line. Unfortunately, we can't approve this at the moment. No emotion, no explanation that actually helps. Just a soft rejection, wrapped in professionalism. Daniel walks out holding the same documents he walked in with, but something feels off, because logically, it doesn't make sense. He did everything right. He played by the rules. So why does it feel like the rules don't apply to him? And that question, that quiet confusion, is where most people stop thinking, but it's exactly where the truth begins. Fast forward 2 years, nothing flashy, no overnight success, no viral breakthrough, just small, quiet progress. Daniel starts saving, cuts a few unnecessary expenses, builds a cushion, nothing life-changing, but enough to feel a little more stable. He keeps more money sitting in his account, not moving, not desperate, just there, calm, consistent, predictable. From the outside, his life doesn't look that different. Same job, same lifestyle, same person, but something invisible has changed. Now he walks into the same bank again, same building, same counters, same exact system, but this time, before he even says a word, they notice him, a different kind of attention, not loud, but clear. A banker approaches him first, smiles, greets him by name, offers to review his options. He sits down, slightly confused, because this isn't what he came for. He didn't ask for anything yet. but they are already talking, and then it happens. You're pre-approved for a credit line. No hesitation, no interrogation, no long explanation needed, better terms, lower interest, more flexibility than he expected. And the strangest part? He didn't try harder this time, didn't prepare a better speech, didn't prove anything. They came to him. That's when it hits him, hard, almost uncomfortable. The system didn't reject him before. It simply had no reason to say yes. Back then, he needed them. Now, they need him. And in that quiet shift, everything changes. The power, the conversation, the outcome. Because the moment you stop needing the system is the exact moment the system starts opening up to you. Here's the truth most people don't realise. Banks are not in the business of helping you. They're in the business of managing risk and maximising profit. That's it. Everything else, the smiles, the language, the "we're here for you" energy, that's presentation, because behind the scenes, it's not personal, it's mathematical. And in that world, you are not a person, you are a profile, a set of data points, a probability on a screen. When you don't have money, you become uncertain, a question mark, someone who might pay or might not, someone who might stay stable or might fall under pressure, even if you are responsible, even if you've never missed a payment, even if you've done everything right, because from their perspective, your effort is invisible, your discipline is unproven, and your intentions don't reduce risk. Only numbers do, only patterns do, only what they can measure and predict. That's why deserve doesn't exist in this system. There's no reward for trying, no bonus for being a good person. There's only one thing that matters: predictability. Now flip it. When you have money, real money, sitting quietly in your accounts, flowing through their system, creating a track record they can see, you stop being a question, you become an answer, predictable, stable, low risk, high value, not because your character changed overnight, but because your position did. And position is the only language the system truly understands. That's the part most people miss. It's not about who you are, it's about how safe you look to the system. And the moment you look safe, everything changes. This is where it gets uncomfortable, because it challenges something most people were taught from the beginning. If I do the right things, the system will reward me. Study hard, work hard, stay disciplined, pay your bills on time, be responsible, and eventually, opportunities will open, respect will follow, things will work out. That belief feels fair, it feels logical, but it's not how the system actually works. Because the system doesn't run on effort, it runs on leverage. And leverage doesn't come from how hard you try. It comes from what you control, resources, assets, position. Money is not just currency, it's influence, it's optionality, it's power you can use or walk away with. When you don't have it, your position is weak. You ask for approval, you wait for decisions, you adjust to their terms, you hope they say yes. And that hope is where you lose control. But when you do have it, everything flips. You don't ask, you choose, you don't wait, you negotiate, you don't hope, you decide. Because now you have options, and options create power. That's why banks don't chase people who need money. They don't compete for desperation. They compete for freedom. They compete for people who can say no. Because the moment someone can walk away, you have to earn their attention. You have to offer better terms, better service, better treatment. That's the shift. It's not about becoming smarter or more deserving. It's about becoming someone the system can't ignore. Because in this game, the person with options controls the outcome every single time. Let's break this down simply. Because once you see it clearly, you can't unsee it. When you need a loan the most, that's when you're the least attractive to a bank. Not because you're irresponsible, not because you're a bad person, but because need signals pressure, and pressure signals risk. Urgency tells the system one thing: something is unstable, something might go wrong, and banks don't move toward uncertainty. They move away from it. Now flip the situation. When you don't need the money, when your life looks stable, when your accounts show consistency, and your balance shows strength, that's when everything changes. That's when offers start showing up. Pre-approvals, higher limits, better terms, lower interest. Because now, you don't look like risk, you look like opportunity. And here's the part most people miss. The system doesn't reward effort, it rewards signals. And the strongest signal you can send is stability, even if it's built slowly, even if it took years of discipline, because on the surface, it's not your struggle they see, it's your numbers. That means two people, same job, same income, same habits, same level of discipline, but one has a stronger bank balance, and suddenly, they're treated completely differently. Not because one is smarter, not because one worked harder, but because one looks safer to the system. And in a world driven by risk, looking safe is more powerful than being deserving. That's the game. And once you understand that, you stop trying to prove yourself and start positioning yourself. So what do you actually do with this? Because once you see the system clearly, you can't keep playing it the same way. First, stop trying to impress the system with effort. Effort is invisible. It doesn't show up on a screen. It doesn't reduce risk. Position does. So shift your focus, start building liquidity. Not for status, not for showing off, but for leverage. Even small amounts matter. Consistency matters more than size in the beginning, because what you're building is a signal, a pattern the system can trust. Second, understand timing. Most people make the same mistake. They wait until they need help. Then they go looking for it. That's the weakest position you can be in, because now you're asking under pressure. Instead, set things up when you're stable, when you don't need the money, when your situation looks calm. That's when approvals are easier. That's when terms are better. That's when you have room to negotiate, because leverage exists only when you can walk away. Third, separate emotion from money decisions. This part is critical. Banks are not judging you, they're calculating you. Rejection is not personal, it's data. Approval is not validation, it's opportunity. Nothing more, nothing less. And once you truly understand that, you stop reacting emotionally, you stop taking it as a hit to your identity, and you start thinking like the system thinks. Risk versus reward, probability over feelings, numbers over narratives. And that's the shift, because the moment you stop trying to be understood and start positioning yourself to be chosen, you stop chasing outcomes and start controlling them. So next time you feel ignored by the system, pause. Don't take it as disrespect. Don't let it hit your ego. Take it as data. Because that moment is showing you something real, something most people never stop to understand. It's not about who you are, not your intentions, not your effort, not even your discipline. It's about where you stand, your position, your leverage, your signal, and the powerful part. That position isn't fixed. It can be built, slowly, quietly, strategically, through small decisions that compound over time, because the goal was never to be accepted by the system. That's the trap. Chasing approval puts you in a weaker position. The real goal is to reach a point where approval doesn't matter, where you have options, where you can walk away. Because the moment you can walk away, everything flips. Now they pay attention. Now they offer. Now they compete. So don't chase the system. Outgrow it. Position yourself so well that one day, without asking, it starts chasing you. Because the moment that shift happens, you feel it. Not loudly, not dramatically, but clearly. The tone changes, the way people speak to you, the way they respond, the way they prioritize you. Offers start coming easier. Opportunities feel closer. Doors that once felt heavy start opening with less resistance. And the truth is, it's not because you suddenly became smarter, not because you worked harder overnight, but because you became valuable. In a language the system actually understands. Position, stability, leverage. And once you see that clearly, something inside you changes. You stop chasing approval. Stop trying to prove yourself. Stop asking for permission to move forward. Instead, you start building quietly, positioning yourself intentionally, creating leverage step by step. Because in this game, money doesn't just change what you can buy. It changes how people treat you, how they respond to you, how seriously they take you. And once you truly understand that, you don't just work harder anymore. You move with awareness, with control, with purpose. And that shift, that quiet strategic shift, is where real power begins.